Next thing that I would like to do is to show you how we can automate labeling of DICOM volumetric data with the app that we have previously deployed. So let me show you the classes that I have defined for this project. So I have defined brainstorm class, and I allow it to be any shape, the same as lang class. Let me open the data, and I have tried my best to label nine masks that looks like this. So this is so I select here the object called brainstorm, and it contains 9 figures, and 9 figures looks like this. That's my best attempt to label brainstorm. And what I can try to do next is to run an interpolation algorithm so that I can fill in these gaps automatically, and also obtain a 3D reconstruction of the brainstorm. And the only thing that I actually need to do is to select this object, and I have it selected, and click Interpolate button. And now we see this interpolation results in other projections as well, and we can inspect the quality. So it looks like this, and maybe we could use this as an automation of labeling. So we may want to generate annotations for certain slices automatically, or maybe we just want to take this interpolation and download it and use it elsewhere. We also obtain this 3D reconstruction that looks like this, and as for me it looks good. Okay, let me move to the next example. In this example, I will try to label this LAN, and I will use Smart Tool and Interpolation app to achieve this purpose. And I will do really rough labeling. So let's start. The way I will approach that task is I will move upwards here, and I will use Smart Tool to label certain slices here. Okay, let's probably zoom in first, like this, and try to label a couple of slices with Smart Tool. So let me do it in this kind of way. So maybe one point is missing. Yes, that looks good. Okay, let me slowly move upwards on along this axial projection. So okay, maybe I will do it like this. Put a couple of green and red points. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, let's label this slice. Actually, this is a default Smart Tool, and I'm very surprised that it's working reasonably well for medical data. I want to label here about 8 or 9 slices, or something like that, just to have something to build interpolation from. Okay, and I hope I get the LAN more or less right, because I'm not sure actually about the exact borders here. Okay, so I think I'm pretty close to the very top here. I probably have to label a couple of more. And you see, it's kind of, if we rely on Smart Tool that is not that was not trained to deal with medical data, we still is quite efficient at labeling individual slices. So a couple of more. I don't know know whether I have to exclude this part. Okay, let's exclude that, and maybe this one as well. Okay, let me do the last one like this. And let's inspect now what we have achieved. Let's take a look at the individual figures next. So the figures for the object that we have labeled, so we created 11 figures, and they look like this. Let me zoom in. Tried my best to make it more or less precise, but not completely sure that I got everything right. Okay, so this is our labeling. We have labeled 11 figures here. Let me click Interpolate button to run this interpolation app, so that we have this these slices that we have not labeled yet after labeled, and also I hope to see some 3D reconstruction. So okay, let's probably hide this object, but make visible interpolation only. And if we navigate over this Excel projection, so probably let's start with let's move upward and just start with this. So this is the first slice that we have, one of the first slices that we have labeled, and we see that this is not right, but for the most slices the interpolation performed quite good here. And we also may navigate a bit for in other projections, but to make our 3D model more precise, we need to label a bit more masks on and probably use this coronal projections as well. And say we may take a look at the 3D model of the LAN that we have built. Here's how it looks like. So we can make it full screen. Okay, so probably I stop here and make some final remarks.